but it also is kind of telling if it was, the Washington Commanders don't seem to care. And that's like it's almost ironic. It's like, you know, as much problems as they've had, why are they the only ones who don't care?
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with me today is my tag team partner as we celebrate Black History Month, the action Perry Jackson, to my Iceman King Parsons in world-class championship wrestling. Not that you watched a lot of world-class, Mike. The icon, the showstopper, the main event, and the reason why we are here, Coach Mike Francis. And Coach, how are you on this Top Shelf Tuesday edition, sir?
I am doing well, sir. How about you?
Oh, man, I am doing well and can't wait to talk about these subjects today because we're going to talk about coaching moves. We're going to talk about player moves. And in segment 3, we get to grade ourselves, strictly for entertainment purposes only. But we're going to start with the Washington Commanders hiring Eric Bieniemy. So the Washington Commanders have finalized a deal to make Eric Bieniemy the new offensive coordinator and Mike, the assistant head coach. He gets the title. The sides agreed on a 2-year deal, which has obviously the title, and with the title comes a pay raise. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. He's not coming to Washington for free. Eric Bieniemy, who's been much talked about, spent the past 5 years as Kansas City's offensive coordinator, helping to oversee an offense that went to Super Bowl 3 times and won 2 of them. But he was not the primary play caller on Andy Reid's staff. And when you have an opportunity, you can, expound on that. Washington is in a spot where the coach is a defensive guy. Their offense is sputtered, and the franchise itself is in flux. So before I let my partner hit some things off his chest, let's get a couple of things straight, audience. The NFL is unfair, okay? So now that we've had that conversation, I don't need to hear about it anymore. The NFL is a business. Now that I've said that, we don't have to have that conversation anymore. The NFL has a long history of race issues. Okay, we got that out of the way. So, Mike, before I go on my rant, what do you think about this move for Eric Bieniemy?
I think a lot of people think it's discredit the whole process of the Rooney Rule and all that, and I'm not sure if that's the case. Like, I don't think you can credit the Rooney Rule. I don't think there's anything to it that makes it a good rule. I just think it's a CYA situation for most places, for most coaches, organizations, put it that way. I think he should have left a long time ago. He's waited too long, to his own fault. I'm sure he would admit that now. 10 years is a long time to be anywhere. And if you're going to play second fiddle, if you're comfortable with being a second fiddle, they're never going to give you the first chair. Like, if you don't actively seek it, and people are saying there must be something else, why won't they hire him? Something else is out there. What did he do? What was his background? I really don't know. But it also is kind of telling if it was, the Washington Commanders don't seem to care. And that's like, it's almost ironic. It's like, as much problems as they've had, why are they the only ones who don't care? Like, but I'm glad for him. I'm glad for him, though. He got to go away. You want to find out, you go away, you disappear you want to rebuild yourself, you got to disappear. He can't disappear any further than where he going right now.
Yeah. So for me, and this is all of the leadership pieces and things that I've studied, there is a thing called a shadow, Mike. There is a thing. He has Andy Reid's shadow. He has Patrick Mahomes. And it's really easy to say, well, if I've got the best players, it's easy to do whatever. Okay. On a personal level, I had to leave my alma mater to have a career, because I could have stayed there 30 years and been comfortable. And my mentor said, "You're too comfortable. Time to go out and be an adult." And that's okay. That's
Mm-hmm.
okay. There's also something about it ran its course. What else can you do at Kansas City in this role? So we've
They won
already
two
told you
Super
about
Bowls,
the
right?
NFL and the racisms and all. Yeah. We
Yeah.
already talked about that. But you as a person, there's nothing else I can do. So even in your career, you've won everywhere you've gone, but it naturally ran its course, and it's time to do something different. In your career now, all of what you've done is naturally run its course. So the next logical thing for you is to be an administrator and get in a position to run your own building and use all of the things you've learned. Me, I'm in student support now. I do not, as much as I love teaching, I can't ever see myself in a position where I'm teaching 5 every day and going home. Can't do it. Okay. I've done that. It's run its course. There's other things on my horizon. He's working for a defensive coach. Ron Rivera, by his own admission, is not an offensive guy.
Mm.
So now Eric Bieniemy gets the title, gets the pay raise, and selfishly gets the credit. If Sam Howell develops, it's me that developed Sam Howell. And now what else can you say in terms of the next deal? He only signed a 2-year contract. Well done, well played, sir. Because if it doesn't work, we all leave, and you can say Ron Rivera sucks as a coach and the Washington organization stinks, and get me out of there. Okay. He also, Mike, and I think I'd like for you to speak to this. He will be interviewed and scrutinized weekly in a way he's never had before.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk a little bit about what you anticipate the questions are going to be on a regular basis that he's going to have to answer now, when Andy Reid kind of buffered a lot of that, so that you get to see how presidential, Eric Bieniemy is. Can you speak a little bit to what you anticipate he's going to be asked?
Yeah, he's gonna be asked about game planning. He's gonna be asked about schemes, play calling situations. He's not going to have Patrick Mahomes. So let's be honest. Let's be real about that. He's going to have to scheme something fierce for whoever that quarterback may be. He's going to have to be able to respond as professional as possible with as much detail as possible to keep them off his back. He's not going to be able to go in there and just be like, he can't open up. He can't. He's not Andy Reid. There's still some things we can't do as coaches of color, and that's one of them. We can't be in there yelling, screaming like we Calipari or somebody like that in a press conference. That's not allowed. Or the dude in Oklahoma, I'm 40. Because next thing you know, we'll be fired. So he's going to have to be on his, he got to play, like you said, the presidential game. He has to play the presidential game. And once he does that and show that he can handle all of that, he's going to be good. Because I'm tired of hearing about only time we hear about his name is Kansas City is when they lose.
Mm-hmm.
When they win, Andy Reid's the greatest play caller in the world. When they lose, it's because Eric Bieniemy is calling the plays. Yeah. And I'm tired of hearing that. And I'm hoping, I'm glad he is too, and hoping he can move forward. And I don't want to say I'm rooting for Washington football team because I'm a Cowboy fan, but I'm rooting for him. Yeah. So every game they play except for Dallas, I'm rooting for him.
And that's how I'll end it too. I'm rooting for the Commanders because of him and Sam Howell. I thought Sam Howell, because we covered it, was a first-round talent, which he is. And North Carolina admitted that they didn't put the things around him for him to succeed. So part of why I believe Eric Bieniemy's coming is because of Sam Howell's development and what he thinks he can do out of it. So we cover the NFL all year. We'll be covering this. And thanks, Mike, for that. So let's move to Arizona, who made a hire. They hired Philadelphia Eagles defensive coordinator Jonathan Gannon as their new head coach. Gannon got a 5-year contract, and the move comes after the Eagles lost the Super Bowl 38-35. Now, again, I'm sure he didn't get hired because of one game, but it's kind of bad when your defense gives up a 10-point lead and then you get a job next day and Eric Bieniemy got to go get an OC job, but whatever. Okay. The other two finalists were Cincinnati Bengals defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo and New York Giants offense coordinator Mike Kafka. So here's the opening statement, man. He's getting a roster that's set for an overhaul with 31 players expected to become unrestricted free agents. So you get to pick the groceries, to quote Bill Parcells. So during his news conference, he said, and I quote, "We're going to be adaptable." Damn right. We're going to be violent. We're going to be explosive. We're going to be smart. And all three phases go into that, and we will maximize the talent of the players we have. And that's how we're going to win games. And don't get it twisted. We're going to win games. Gannon made it clear that he understood that he would need Murray to do that whenever Murray recovers from ACL surgery. So Kyler Murray will still be the quarterback in Arizona. Okay. So as a result of him coming in, Vance Joseph goes out. So Vance Joseph, I believe he's already picked up a job, if I'm not mistaken. But what do you think about the Arizona Cardinals hiring the Philadelphia Eagles defensive coordinator who didn't coordinate a good second half defense?
Yeah, I don't know if that was that. I don't think it was about coordinating a good second half defense. I think it's just that they couldn't get the pass rush they wanted. So that didn't mean he didn't coordinate it. It just they didn't execute it. Let's put it that way. I think it's a good hire because that you don't want nobody who can add to that mess that's on the other side of the ball with, PlayStation, man, or whatever you playing, Xbox, I don't know what it is. You need somebody to come in and say, hey, we're going to take the mindset and the focus on why you put your head down, man.
You said PlayStation, man. Come on,
man. Like, that's in his clause, man. I didn't make it up.
I know.
That's got to be the first contract ever that included video games.
I was holding it in, man. And then you told you let America know that I'm holding in laughter because you call that boy PlayStation, man.
Yes, man. He ain't playing a PlayStation game.
They did put a clause in and said you got to study.
Okay,
like, come on,
you got to study.
So how'd that get out?
Exactly. They ain't like him. Somebody don't like his ass for real. They wanted somebody else. But anyway, yeah, I think it's a good hire to go defensively, especially where they are. So you kind of offset and create some balance to what you had. Because your favorite coach of all time was offensive minded.
Go opposite. Whatever it is, do what he did. Don't do what he did.
You went 2 full years on a campaign against Cliff Kingsbury.
Project Cincinnati.
No, you hated Cliff. Why'd you hate Cliff Kingsbury so much?
So you fell up the ladder. All right, anyway, Chicago Bears, man. Chicago Bears. So, Mike, I don't know how you feel about this, but I'm kind of nostalgic. The Chicago Bears are trying to get a new stadium, and they actually want a dome. And I remember NFL films in Chicago and the frigid temperatures, but I'm also 50 now, and ain't nobody trying to play out there in the cold weather. So how do you feel about the Chicago Bears trying to put a roof on Soldier Field or build a new dome stadium? What do you think?
I think it's a good idea. I mean, that Soldier Field shit is like, that's for the birds. Ain't nobody trying to play out there in that stuff, man. It's Chicago. It's called the Windy City. Like, come on, bro.
So yeah.
So yeah, I'm with it. And Justin Fields came out and said, yeah, it would be nice. Yeah, and Justin Fields ain't stupid.
I ain't trying to do all that, man. I don't need to be a hero.
You hear they might trade him?
Yeah, so when we get to the previews, we'll be yakking about that. So now Tampa Bay, and I'm worried about them. I'm worried about the head coach there. They hired Seattle Seahawks quarterback coach Dave Canales as their new offensive coordinator. Canales was the 10th candidate to interview for Tampa Bay. Now, I am fine with a wide scope, but man, that's a lot of folks to interview. But again, he had been with Seattle since 2010, first as their wide receivers coach, then as their quarterbacks coach, then as their passing game coordinator, then as their quarterbacks coach again. Prior to Seattle, he was the assistant strength coach at USC. I think Pete Carroll's up there, so that might be Pete Carroll thing. He was a special team and tight ends coach at El Camino College, and he was the offense coordinator at Carson High School in 2004, 2005. Mike Todd Bowles is the head coach of Tampa Bay. And quite frankly, I think it's going the wrong way because they only have one quarterback under contract. And that's Kyle Trask. And I couldn't spot him in the police lineup if you paid me. Can you share your thoughts on where Tampa Bay's going?
Man, that shit worse than Washington. Now, Eric Bieniemy looked at that job and was like, ooh, no. I'll take the Commanders bet over Tampa Bay. Yeah, it's not good. But it's not good.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Hey, Todd.
Tom Brady left them in the void. I hate to say it. I hate to, people say it all the time, but I hate to agree with it when you talk about somebody being so great, they can be too great that all the shit falls apart when they leave. For instance, New England when he left, now Tampa when he left. Like, when great people come along, and like, because Tom, TB12, I think he's the GOAT when it comes to quarterback. So what?
Do you need to hear my Roger Staubach chant?
Man, I don't want to hear this Roger Staubach thing. He didn't win it.
Anyway, all right. So, hey, Todd.
So if Michael Jordan didn't win 6, would you call him the GOAT?
I don't call him the GOAT now, so I don't have to worry about not calling him the GOAT.
Michael Jordan?
I have never done that. And fans, tomorrow when we celebrate Michael Jordan's 60th birthday, you'll hear some Michael Jordan things from Dr. Adams. But all right, Todd Bowles, I hope your rent don't own because this doesn't seem like it's going to be a long relationship. This is just not lining up very well, and I hope I'm wrong. Finally, Baltimore, or let me say it like that, Baltimore, baby. Okay. Despite stagnant negotiations over a long-term contract, Lamar Jackson did have some input into hiring Todd Monken as the new offensive coordinator. This guy came from Georgia, and I'm just not digging the hire. He's going to be tasked with rebuilding an offense that has struggled since Jackson won the MVP in 2019. This just doesn't sound like it's a good fit, but I could be wrong. Mike, you're a football guy. What do you think about the hiring of Georgia's OC in Baltimore?
I'm starting to. Well, I ain't starting to. I just begin to worry. It kind of shows me how lucky Baltimore was when Ozzie was there. How good Baltimore was. I can start comparing Ozzie's regime versus this, and this. None of this makes sense to me. And I mean, you got to hire who you feel comfortable with as an owner and whatever, or whoever's running football right now. But it just doesn't make sense to me. It does not make sense to me. Why didn't you push for Eric Bieniemy? You got Lamar Jackson. Why didn't you push for Eric Bieniemy?
Man, I don't know what Baltimore.
And then you got to think: did the head coach want to share the title as Washington did? Because he's trying to build his resume. So it comes down to which I'm really over Harbaugh. I'm over Harbaugh.
You have been.
I have been. I've seen.
Talk about me and Cliff Kingsbury.
We've seen this movie before. You know, and he just gets up at the press conference like nothing. I'm being honest. It's just not.
Yeah.
I understand he had a good relationship with Lamar, and you know they played off that for a long time. But honestly, I just think it's time for a change. We talked about that. We just talked about somebody being somewhere for 10 years. Like you
runs his course. It's natural.
Yeah, what? Harbaugh got NFL championship, right? Got a ring?
He got a ring.
Got a ring?
I think he got one. The other one was
Belichick. Billy? Yeah. So what more can he do?
Yeah.
That master defense is gone. You had how many Hall of Famers on that defense?
Mm-hmm.
Which has nothing to do with him. That's more to do with Ozzie than him.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, fans, when we come back on the Odd Coaches podcast in segment 2, we're going to start talking about some player moves. And we're going to start off with America's weirdest quarterback. Aaron Rodgers. We'll get right back to you after this short break.
There is an old business adage that says, what gets measured and monitored gets done. It is also fact that deadlines spur action. That is what the CKA Save Project's academic monitoring service can do for student athletes. Measure and monitor their academic progress to improve their grades. Our academic monitoring services provide ongoing academic support for student athletes for a designated period of time. Our academic success coaches work with student athletes on time management and organizational skills, along with improving their ability to self-advocate. Every few weeks, our academic success coaches meet with student athletes to assess their academic progress as well as provide ongoing academic advising. If needed, student athletes have access to CKA Learning Specialists who provide virtual core subject academic support for student athletes. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free virtual consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
All right, welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast in segment 2. A lot of NFL player moves. So are they really done? We won't officially know Aaron Rodgers' plans for next season until he does whatever he does in the mountaintops of the Serengeti or something. But the Packers seem to be done, and they're ready to move on to Jordan Love, and they're ready to talk trade. Mike, what are you thinking? Is this really over?
It should be. I hope it is. I am so tired of this guy, man. Why do you wait till now when you know contract negotiations going on? How selfish is this? That you're going to go turn somewhere and turn your phone and stuff off? Why didn't you do that the first 2 weeks the season was out? Why you waiting till now? Like he a bratty little kid to me. He acts like a bratty child, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't deal with that. I could not. Like when you try to make it more about you than anything, I'm tired of the saga, the back and forth every year. Something different with this dude, man. Like, come on, man. Like, grow up. Why do we handle it like this? And the thing is, and I said it first, everybody thinking about him now. I was the first one told you last year he holding them hostage.
Holding them hostage. Yes, you did.
I told you that. Now everybody wants to see me use it. Well, I've been doing that for 18 months, so let's stop.
Yes. Because I'm tired of him.
I'm sick and tired of that dude. Man.
Yeah, it's time to go, man. Again, talking about running its course, it has ran its course.
Yes.
And it's okay to run the course. So, all right, we're going to move on. When you deal with people who have nothing to lose, you lose. Yes. New Orleans Saints running back Alvin Kamara, Cincinnati's cornerback Chris Lemons, and 2 other men have been indicted by a grand jury for allegedly assaulting a man at a Las Vegas nightclub in February 2022. All 4 men were indicted on charges of conspiracy to commit battery and battery resulting in substantial bodily harm. I believe I saw the video and we talked about it on the show. Kamara's attorney said in a statement that he intends to contest the charges. A civil lawsuit was filed against Kamara in October. And the lawsuits allege that Kamara and the 3 other men beat Darnell Green Jr. and stomped on him while he was on the floor unconscious outside a nightclub on the morning of February 5th, the night before the Pro Bowl. Remember what Tony Dungy told you? Anyway, Green's lawsuit asked for a jury trial and compensatory and punitive damages of no less than $10 million. It seeks $5 million in actual damages and $5 million in exemplary damages.
That means my lawyer.
Yeah. So, Mike, if you're the Saints, does this cause you pause or figure it out and I'll see you training camp?
Well, you know, the NFL, they can't react the way they do it now. He's innocent until proven guilty, so they're not going to respond. And the Players Association is not going to let them respond negatively, first and foremost. I'm sure there's a call that was made on how we could do this, but depending on his performance, if he had declining performance, you would hear about this. If they don't need him, he'll be gone.
He's a running back, Mike.
But
So right
they can
there,
get
you got a
another
problem.
one. Yeah, you can get another one 4th, 5th round in the mindset of the NFL. They've turned running back position into a fucking kicker position. Excuse my friend.
That ain't French. So watch for them in the draft because again, if Alvin Kamara is a distraction and his check's a little high, we can naturally say we're going to have an open competition at training camp. I.e., he's going to be a part of the last cuts, and we're going to have that little tweet that says, "Thank you so much for the years, and we wish you the best in all of your future endeavors."
Picture of him like this.
Pretty much. So you heard it here first, fans. Look for
does.
the New Orleans Saints to draft a running back in the first 3 rounds.
His 40 dash time better not go down. His strength better not go down. He better make the conditioning test. He can't do nothing wrong. Tell you that now. Can't be late to a meeting. They looking to get rid of him.
Did you say can't? Okay.
No, he can't be late to the meeting, man. If you're in the lobby, boy, you better move.
So we're going to move on to one of my 5 new favorite NFL players, and that's Derek Carr. As Sid Vicious once said in an interview, do unto the man as he will do to you, but do it first. Derek Carr was released by the Las Vegas Raiders after he declined to waive his no-trade clause. Go, Derek.
Get that bread, son.
And Derek Carr's agent tweeted out, "We wish the Raiders the best of luck." I love it. They flipped the switch on him. Okay. So Carr hit the open market a month before the start of the league's new year. And the Raiders only have one quarterback under center, who is Chase Garbers. I don't know who that is. So, hey, Derek is looking for his own job, and good luck to him. He flipped the switch on the team, and he's in the power position.
That is the greatest tweet ever.
We wish the Raiders all the best. I love it.
No, the thing about it is no ill will. Like, he chooses to hold on to many good memories and no ill will. Onward and upward.
Go, Derek.
Onward and upward. Yeah. Yo, whoever wrote that, they need to be hired for, like, seriously, top of the line. That's a spokesman right there.
All right, more player moves. Live from New York. After winning a second Super Bowl in 4 seasons and stealing every wrestling catchphrase, Travis Kelce is now going to be the host of Saturday Night Live on the March 4th episode. He was on Jimmy Fallon. He is making the rounds. So I don't know if Kansas City is going to win a 3rd Super Bowl because Travis is starting to make money doing other things other than football, and you know the rules, Mike.
Yeah.
So congratulations. Continue to parlay that. While you're doing all of that, somebody's in the weight room, somebody's on the track, somebody's working to get to where you are. That's how it works.
But like I always told AJ, NFL money can't compare to Campbell's soup money. So it's about getting that long term. You can't play football for so long, but you can sell soup the rest of your damn life.
Yes, you can. So we're not mad at Travis. That's not. Don't take that as being mad. But the Kansas City betting line, I'm good. I might take the under next year. Okay. Strictly for entertainment purposes only. All right, Mike, does the punishment fit the crime? Jacksonville Jaguars wide receiver Calvin Ridley has applied for reinstatement to the NFL after his little gambling problem last year. He's now eligible to apply for reinstatement. The Jaguars traded for Ridley in November, sending the Atlanta Falcons a 2023 5th-round draft pick and a conditional 4th-round draft pick to use on Ridley, who's on his rookie deal. And he's guaranteed $11 million. So he's not that's not going to hurt anybody's cap. He hasn't played in the game since October 2021. Ridley left the Falcons 7 days later because he needed to step away from football.
Who snitched?
Stop it. Okay. It was revealed that he admitted to betting a total of $1,500, but he said he didn't have a gambling problem. One, did the punishment fit the crime? And 2, will he be able to play at a high level again? What do you think?
Yeah, it's not like he Pete Rose or something like that. It's $1,500, man. I'm more upset than
The
the way he
rules are
handled
very
it.
clear, Mike. It's in every locker room. Every.
Yeah, the rules are clear. You're right, 100%. And
I don't feel
just
bad
like,
for them. Bro.
did you see the what's his name? The Chicago quarterback. Was Justin Fields talking about how the Ohio State alum offered him $300,000 to transfer,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
In order to stay, right? Wasn't that against the rules? This is before NIL.
Yeah, but this
Oh,
guy
blah,
bet
blah,
on
blah.
football games, man, and they take no gamble.
$1,500. $1,500. I don't like who snitched. I don't know who it was. I don't know who told. And I'm angry at him for the way he handled it. Why would you let yourself be out there like that? Like
I think he did it under his own name too.
Yeah,
Not that we're condoning any of this. But
I am in where you can bet. Like if you're in a state where they allow you to gamble, I don't think you should not be able to gamble. I don't care what it is.
but your NFL
Politicians-
contract says you
Politicians
can't
get money from the companies that they promote and put into law. Yes or no?
all correct, but
Okay,
the
then.
NFL
I don't
contract
care.
says don't do
care.
it.
No.
All right, fans.
We
Speaking
got to
of
stop
gambling,
holding athletes to higher standards than the people that's running our country.
all of that may be true, sir. But the $11 million. All right, fans. When we get back, we get to grade ourselves. Okay, we covered the NFL from pillar to post, post to pillar, and we'll see how we did. We'll be right back. Yeah, Coach Podcast.
The reviews are in for Dr. Keith Adams' book, Finding the Balance, My Personal Journey to Academic and Athletic Success. College professor and student athlete academic expert Dr. Lisa Rubin said, "There is nothing out there like this book, so I do hope people will pay attention and give it a read." Former George Mason standout Fowler Campbell said, "Consider this book an opportunity to work directly with Dr. Adams, just like I did. I assure you that there will be something you can take away that will be useful to you throughout your personal journey." Ryan Waite, a recent college graduate who is a software engineer, said, "I like how the book is based on research, which makes it good for general students as well as student athletes." The book serves as both a memoir to Dr. Adams' 30-year academic and athletic career, as well as an instructional guide to assist student athletes, parents, coaches, teachers, and administrators navigate through the challenges of finding a better balance between academic and athletic success. The book includes over 15 personal stories and anecdotes from Dr. Adams, along with numerous former players and colleagues from a variety of sports and endeavors. You can order your copy at www.ckasaveproject.org. From the main page, simply click CKA Save Project Services and order the Find the Balance book. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast. In segment 3, we get to grade ourselves. So, Mike, we picked division winners. Some were right, some were wrong. Let's go with the AFC first. In the AFC East, we picked the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills won. That's what we're talking about. AFC North, we picked the Bengals. Bengals won. AFC South, that was on me, man. I picked the Colts, and that didn't happen. And the Jags ended up winning. But I picked the Jags on season-long bet, so okay. And in the AFC West, we picked Kansas City to win. Kansas City won. So 3 out of 4 ain't bad, Mike. 3 out of 4 ain't bad. Any thoughts on the AFC and how we picked?
Well, I would have never picked the Colts. Like
I said that was on me.
Yeah, you had to put a gun in my head for me to pick the Colts.
I like the running back. They had Matty Ice coming in. The AFC South. You saw who won the South. Jags. So,
I like Barry Sanders. That don't mean Detroit was going to win the damn division.
All right. NFC East. We both picked the Cowboys. Eagles won. Go figure. We picked the Vikings laughingly because we thought everybody else was bad. So we just said pick them.
And they won.
And they won. We picked Tampa Bay because the NFC South was straight trash, man. I don't know what was going on there. And we picked the Rams because we thought they would at least win the division. Following said pick the 49ers, so I picked the 49ers for a season-long bet. So overall, with all the divisions, Mike, we were 62% correct. I'll take that. I'll take that because in Vegas, if you win 53%, you've won. So, any thoughts on our division picks?
Nah, I mean
Huh.
the Rams let us down, but
Rams.
that's it. The Rams let us down. That's the only one on there that I would look and say, okay, I picked that, and that's not happening.
All right. So on the flip side, we also picked last place. So in the AFC East, we picked the Jets last, and the Jets were last. In the AFC North, we picked the Browns last, and they were last. Now again, the AFC South, we picked the Jags, but that was a bad division. Texans were last. Who cares? This AFC South, it was really bad. And in the AFC West, despite Akil being mad at us, we picked Denver to be last. I told you, Russell Wilson's done. He is a finished product as an elite quarterback. He's done. So what are you thinking about? Oh, remember they're one player away, buddy.
Oh God.
In the NFC East, we picked the Giants last, and Mike King laughed at us all year. Washington ended up being last. Okay. In the NFC North, we picked Detroit last. Bears ended up being last. Again, NFC North wasn't very good. Yeah. NFC South was horrible. I think Atlanta's the worst sports city in the history of American sports. And who's last? Who's last?
You gotta stop
Atlanta. Hey, how those Hawks doing? Stink. Okay. So I want to hear it.
The Braves are in Atlanta, right?
It's baseball. Baseball hadn't liked me for years. Oh, did I do that on the camera? Sorry. Major League Baseball has yet to invest in me. Okay. They go to Latin America. They go everywhere else. But and don't tell me about the RBI program. I don't want to hear that. Okay. Yeah. So now as a 50-year-old man, they get none of my money. Okay. Yeah. So, and my son could care less about baseball. That's generation. I don't know. I mean, I know your pops liked baseball, if I'm not mistaken, and y'all used to go to the games and stuff.
He liked baseball. He loved baseball.
I'm sorry. I have no interest. Okay. NFL had pump, pass, and kick. They came to my school. NBA built courts in my neighborhood. I never saw Major League Baseball. So now as an adult, I don't care what you do.
Yeah.
That's your fault, Major League Baseball, but I digress.
That's part of the elitist attitude, though. They
got what
they got what they wanted. They didn't want us there, so come on.
So you're not getting my dollar. And then in the NFC West, I don't know why I picked San Francisco last, but well, whatever. Arizona was last. I should have picked them last because I didn't like that dude, and now he's gone. So beat it.
Your favorite coach.
All right. So strictly for entertainment purposes only, this is me. My overall percentage was 41%. That's my fault. That's my fault. But I break my bets down. So picking straight against the spread, I was 56%. You just won 53%. So I'm good picking against the spread. My over-unders, I'm horrible because I keep thinking people are going to play defense, and Mike and Will and everybody else says, stop it. And I didn't, and I picked 35%. So there's my problem right there.
Out of the 17, what did you do more, over or under? That's the question.
I did more under because I'm thinking somebody's going to stop somebody. And Will kept telling me, Coach, take the over. Yeah. Take the over. Take the over. Somebody's going to lock up. And no.
Okay. You see the Super Bowl?
Oh, come on, man. So anyway, my 2 plays, 61% on 2 plays of the week. 3 plays of the week, it's always that third damn game. And this year, Mike, how many times was it the upset? You're like, you're not supposed to lose that game. And, Buffalo is playing like Houston. And you're like, all right, that's the throwaway game. It's the other. So I get the hard games, the easy win, and the greatest comeback ever, the Jets win.
and then Dallas let us down 3 times.
So there goes that. And then the upset of the week, well, you're not supposed to take a lot. You're not supposed to win a lot of upsets. So always had a money line upset of the week. So it's not as bad as it thinks. In the season-long bets, we won 75% of our season-long bets. Mm-hmm. Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, Buffalo. So the only team that really let us down was New Orleans. I mean, that's I don't know what I was thinking. I thought Crab Legs was going to play better this year.
Who?
I picked Crab Legs, man. I thought NFC South was terrible. Terrible.
Yo, they should make them play in the XFL.
Oh, God. We will not be covering the XFL, fans.
Yeah,
Okay,
they need to.
so if you're looking for that,
you know, like the 6-point play or whatever,
I
extra
don't,
point, 3
man.
point.
When you got to study how you score, it just means you shouldn't watch.
And you know, you can go if you down more than 9 points, you can go if you convert a 4th and 15. You just go one time down. If you convert the 15-yard, then you get the ball. You get the ball back.
Are you okay? Are you watching any of this? Are you
I haven't
watching
watched
this?
the game. I
Okay.
just heard the rules.
Yes, I heard the rules on Sports Center too. I'm not
like,
watching.
What?
Like, and if you're betting on the XFL, you need to go to a meeting. Okay, you need meeting.
I got somebody you need to talk to.
Anyway, moving forward, next year we're going to stay with the weekly bets. We're going to stay with the season-long bets. And Will is trying to talk me into doing individual player bets. But after watching the Super Bowl, one, I have no time to analyze Travis Kelce's catch rate, whatever that is.
What is
Mike,
that?
what about you, man? Are you into the individual player bets?
Heck no, I don't even know what that means. I don't think I'm not even.
We were sitting on the show like this. Will, what are you talking?
Catch rate. Oh, that damn is a catch rate. I don't care about that. Did
The
they
first
win?
Scramble will be excellent, man.
Oh yeah. The first. Oh yeah, his first carry will be 6 yards or more. Like I saw that. I was like, wow. That was on a video that I happened to have the TV on. And that DraftKings commercial, they got like an infomercial for DraftKings.
They've got an infomercial that comes
and
on.
I'm looking like, what the hell? And
my father-in-law said I almost downloaded the app. I got so excited about it. Said, stay away from that thing, man. You don't
man,
need
I was vacuuming
it.
it. I just had it on the TV and the show I was watching ended. I'm vacuuming. I'm looking like, what?
Oh, stay away from that stuff. All right, fans. So as we transition to next season, the NFL draft is April 27th through 29th. The Odd Coaches podcast will begin our offseason previews sometime around the March 7th episode, where we will do just what we did last year. We'll break down teams, offense, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, offensive line, defense, defensive line, linebacker, secondary, special teams. Shut up, Mike. We're going to talk about the punter and the kicker. Okay. And yes, fans, on the notes, it says, shut up, Mike, because Mike can't stand special team conversation. Don't tell me about no damn kicker. All I hear about is score touchdown. And one time we were at a dining establishment watching the game, and he said, get that kicker off. That kicker off the field. We're going to talk coaching staffs, GMs, and owners. So
fourth and one. It was 4th and 1. Why you got the kick on the field? 4th and 1. You got the best running back in the league. 4th and 1.
Get that kicker off the
field. The only thing that was throwing a 1-yard slant in the Super Bowl when you got Marshawn Lynch in the backfield. That's the only thing worse.
All right. Well, fans, on behalf of my tag team partner, Coach Mike Francis, I'm Dr. Keith Adams, saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches podcast. And we will see you on the sidelines. Till next time, take care.
The Odd Coaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach FRANCHIZE. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches Podcast.